Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is a video to talk about blue post Banlist. I'm going to do this for every color, but just kind of where everything is like landing for blue. And I think the blue is a really, really strong color right now. Now that a few of the other top decks have been knocked off a little bit, Mecha is still very good. Red's still very good, especially with King Vegeta. I don't suspect that it will just be like an easy walk in the park from here on out for like these like colors like black and red because they've been kind of nerfed in some way. I think King Vegeta is easier to beat than King Piccolo is. I think that Dark Brawler took a huge nerf. The Jax got a nerf, obviously. And Kai's still really good, but there's going to be some new decks on the rise, like Shenron and stuff like that. So we'll see how those decks slot into the meta, as well as, how things are just kind of positioned. But blue is in a very good position right now. And why is that? Well, Blue Baby didn't get touched. I think that's like the elephant in the room for blue. It was something that I think a lot of people had kind of looked forward to have something happen to the deck. But Blue Baby, man, that deck is just really good because it has the tools to stall you out in the early game. You basically have to like play super aggro against it and just like wipe it off the face of the planet. But the other problem is that once it gets like 3, 4, 5, and it starts to get like its defensive cards online, it gets really, really hard to beat. And I just think that Blue Baby in particular, having all the counters that it does, having great end game cards like Fu, Baby Hatch to like stop your turn to get it back to them, turning the tide, so on and so forth, it can get pretty crazy, pretty quick. And it has a lot of draw power on its back. It has a lot of good things it can do on the front. And, that field spell, just playing cards for cheap, is just super, super strong. As for, other blue decks, SS2 Gohan is proven to be a very good deck to play in the meta. It's kind of like the rogue top blue deck right now. But then this also kind of applies to Soul Striker, that 10 drop. Hoo-wee! That 10 drop is super nasty. And there's a lot that can be said for Soul Striker and SS2 Gohan playing that 10 drop. The thing is with Soul Striker, as well as SS3, I can't forget about that. SS3, Soul Striker, in particular, a lot of things you're seeing are like the Galactic Buster engine and like how that plays out. Even SS2 Gohan's running a little bit of it, but like Galactic Buster with like the Bojack cards is just getting really super crazy out of hand. And I think that blue is going to stick around for a long time until they print better silver bullets for it. Because the reality is right now, blue has lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of good removal that unfortunately just kind of destroys it. Destroys like your little silver bullets, your answers to it that you would flood it with. Blue also kind of struggles in the mirror because like you'll go super long. Who can never get to their light cards first generally is in prime position to win. And SS3 and Blue Baby and Soul Striker all play very either similar boss cards, but they go about getting to them differently. SS3 can't get to turning the tide, of course, but it can draw an absurd amount of cards with SS4 Vegeta. It can flood you out because it's got 3 extra energy to play with at the end of its turn. And Boo Unison with SS3 is just ridiculous. As well as Boo Unison with like any of the decks right now. Boo Unison is just continuously proving to be one of the best blue cards ever made. And when I saw the card, I overhyped it a little bit because I thought it was more broken than what it was. But also, I knew the card was actually insane. And upon release, the Boo Unison just has continued to take over every single deck as being the top Unison to play, aside from Soul Striker because of the Awaken factor. But Boo Unison just basically in every blue deck right now, just absolutely phenomenal. Another like really great pivot point to talk about with blue is just Baby Hatch. Like, Baby Hatch is continuously proving, basically in every blue deck, to be the staple, like, SCR. I know for a lot of reasons to you guys, it's going to be, like, not much of a shocker. But Baby Hatch is, like, starting to become to the point where it's like, oh, look, I could do something to you, and you just stopped it. Time to move on, because they're either going to get to another flood card that they play, or they're going to get to, those win cons that just absolutely destroy you. Baby Hatch is basically like an extra turn for the player playing blue right now, and it's kind of ridiculous. I'm not sure if they're going to need to do something with the SCR. They probably won't, just because it's not fair in a lot of ways, but it's also fair in others, because it does have an energy requirement to be played. It does have a small cost, and it also is, while being a 40k beat stick, it can be countered. It can, there's just lots of things that, like, you can do with, about Baby Hatch, but also at the end of the day, it still feels bad. Like, it just kind of feels bad to get hatched. And if I can revisit the Galactic Buster for a second, the whole combo with the Bojack cards, it's just really, really super powerful, especially with Bean. And I think that blue being able to play that is like the final oomph that it kind of needed to kind of push it to the next level to compete with all these other colors, especially when black in particular just seems to have every good blue out, right? Like True Fighting Spirits, the Gohan, which every other color has a Sun Gohan changing history card. But the other thing is black can be very aggressive. It can play lots of really good cards, especially with the thwarting the Dark Empires. And so you just see overall like a lot of good, really, really, really strong, really, really good pieces in black to help handle blue. But probably the best black deck, Dark Brawly, got nerfed. That's a win for the it's a win for blue. And the other thing is Vegeks getting nerfed slows it down, right? Like, the thing is everyone talks about how great milling 3 is and how great the leader still is. And the other problem is that it creates a tempo problem against blue decks, because blue being able to stall you out if you don't get good mills is just like super duper bad, right? Like, it's super bad. And there's tech cards that people are going to continue to play and can continue to play to make Vegeks good, but also at the end of the day, it's still just Vegeks. So, it's going to have its inconsistencies, and now it's going to be even more consistent than it was. And so we might see a spike and rise. I know that the new Mass Saiyan leader is really good. The old Black Mass Saiyan's really strong. But at the end of the day, blue really doesn't care as long as you're not playing, like, flooding it with, like, Kai, Vegeta, Trunks, Unison, right? Like, if that's, like, just not a thing that they have to worry about, then they're super happy. And so blue also against black, it's starting to become more staple. The Piccolo Gohan card that you can pay a blue, pitch it, and then bottom deck 2 cards, 3 or less, is just really super solid at addressing black's answers. And blue's just really positioned well because of the nerfs to decks like Dark Brawly, because Dark Brawly is just going to be playing super tall, and it's going to try to go wide, and it could go wider than normal with the tribute off, so on and so forth. Excuse me. But I really look forward to bringing you guys a Dark Brawly deck soon, and I really look forward to seeing just kind of where everything goes with this meta shift, especially with set 14 coming up. And I think that set 14's blue stuff doesn't really offer us anything that we don't already have besides like Tapion Unison. But at the same time, I still think that Blue Unison is just going to be leagues better. I think that Tapion Unison is going to be more situationally good or more deck dependent good than an overall card that you can just like run. Um, and there's a kind of a sleeper deck that I've been working on, Janemba, that I kind of want to try out soon. With Vegeks taking a hit, people might not play it as much, and so Janemba Mill might be something that can like resurge and come back. I'm really looking forward to seeing where blue continues to evolve, and I think it just went from like weakest, the second weakest color to now top two strongest colors. I still think that black is the best color, and I think that the reason why I have it like I'd have like black, blue, red, yellow, and then green. And I think that like that's kind of the way to go in that order, just because black still has Gogeta Zeno. Vegeks is still somewhat decent. I have been giving it a lot of thought, and I think that Dark Brawly is still good, and I really look forward to bringing you guys a list of that soon. Kai is still really, really strong, and I think that's like a sleeper deck that people just don't really play. It's got Mechi Gabora, and Mechi Gabora also got better when other colors got like nerfed and other black decks got nerfed. And blue is probably the second best color just because it's very consistent at what it wants to do. All the strategies are super good. SS3 ramping is really good. Untapping 3 for that is good. Soul Striker is just absurdly stupid. I think that it's one of those leaders that like needs to be errated or changed. People are probably going to hate me for that, but like drawing 2 to awaken and untapping 2 energy and draw a card, like drawing 3 and untapping 2 energy is really strong. Drawing a card and untapping 2 energy every turn is really strong. And so it's just like, I don't know. I don't know about this, but, we'll see. And especially with the Blue Unison, yikes, it's really, 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 really strong. Then you've got, obviously, Blue Baby, who's just playing counter cards out here for low cost. And that's, just really, really good because it can just play all the powerful counter plays. And so, yeah, that's kind of what I think about blue. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is Alex from TCG Discussions signing off.